Hi there, Matt here from Minerva. Hope you're well. So today I'm going to be looking at some fun sewing tools. Now Minerva have sent some over. They're all available online. So let's take a look. So let me open this one first. This is the Prim ironing sheet. It measures 50 by 92 centimeters. Now this is ideal for maybe quilting or any kind of crafting that you might do. Now I have been very bad sometimes and I just use my cutting board, which is not very good. So I've recently bought one like this. So it should protect your surfaces. So it's a lot easier than getting the ironing board out. So this is really nice. You have it's like you have a pocket here. And I think there's a pin cushion here, so when you have it on your table, I don't know if you can't see here, but that can overhang, so you can put your tools or whatever in. This is really nice, and of course it has all the measurements on here, like the cutting table. So this would be ideal if you're quilting and ironing your fabrics. So this pocket here is actually removable, so you can put all your remnants of fabric and all your scraps and everything in here, and then just empty it in your bin. That's brilliant. It has pockets all the way along the bottom here, so you can put all your tools in there as it overhangs the desk. You can't see that. Let me try it out. Grab a pair of scissors. You can't see, but they're there. So of course it'll protect your table. So it has a protective side here, and then you have the beige side here with all the measurements that are very useful. So you can iron on it. You can I wouldn't say cut it with a rotary blade, but you can certainly measure your fabric there. So I should give it a road test in a minute, but I'll use my inky dinky little steam iron here. This is the Prim Mini steam iron, which is ideal if you're doing, again, quilting, and you don't want to get the big iron out, you don't want to get the ironing board out. You can just do this on your worktop. It comes with a measuring cup and a little bag to carry it. So if you're going on holiday, it's ideal to take on holiday as well. So multiple uses. I have one of these and I use it all the time because I really can't be bothered to get the big iron out unless I'm doing some bigger work. But this is ideal. So we'll test that one out. Ugh. So you have a nice long cable here. There's your little carry bag, so you can take it away on holiday with you, and you'll have no more creased up garments. There we go. You can do it better than that. You have a little measuring cup here, the instructions, and of course the bag. But before I try it out, leave that over there. Let me get my little ironing board out. So this is a sleeve ironing board, of course. Again, this is Prim, and this one measures 52 by 12.5 centimeters. So let me, that there should clip into place. So it's very sturdy. So this should make ironing sleeves a lot easier. So this measures 12.5 centimeters wide and 52 centimeters in length. It has a metric scale on this side, and it has a heat reflecting side on the other, so you just see that there. I'm going to try it with my mini iron, and also try out the ironing mat as well. Let me grab my mini iron. So on the top of the iron here, you have a dial to turn it from minimum to maximum. You have a steam button, and this bit here at the front is where you pour your water. Here's some I got earlier. Just pour that into there. They have indicators here when you've reached the max, and then I'll plug it in. So you have an indicator on the front here to show you it's on. I have a bit of material here. I don't know if you can see that crease there. Let's see if we can get that crease out. Perfect. So this is ideal if you're crafting, if you're quilting as well, and if you're like me and can't be bothered to get the big ironing board out. So there we go, that's the Prim mini iron. Let's take a look at the Prim shirt mini ironing board. So I have a shirt here which needs ironing. I won't iron the whole shirt. Let me slip my sleeve onto here. Now of course you might want to use a bigger iron than this one when you do your sleeves. Now I know this shirt is a nightmare to iron, but this iron's handling it quite well, and it's nice to be able to have an ironing board inside the sleeve so you're not ironing the other side as well. So there we go, nice smooth uncreased sleeve. So I'll do the rest of that shirt later. So that's the Prim sleeve ironing board and the Prim mini steam iron, and of course the Prim ironing mat, which is a really good size actually. And these pockets are just perfect for when you're doing your crafting or if you're doing quilting. Continuing with the theme of ironing, I'm going to try out these different pressing tools. So here we have the pressing mitt. Now these are all from So Easy. So this is a pressing mitt. I've never used one of these before, so I'll be interested to try that one out. We have the Tailor's pressing ham, which is perfect for pressing any body seams or maybe collars or darts. And then we have another sleeve tool. So I'll try out the other sleeve of the shirt with the sleeve pressing tool here. So these are all available on Minerva.com. I'll start with the pressing mitt, which I've never used before. If I, for instance, made something like this, which I want to go in and press into the corners, rather than put my hand in there and burning my hand, slip my hand into the pressing mitt, put that inside, and then using your iron and press over it like this, and therefore you don't burn yourself. So that's a very useful tool. So moving on to the pressing ham here. Now I do have one of these and they are extremely useful, especially if you're doing darts. So I've made a quick dart here, which you can see hopefully. So if you're pressing on a flat surface like that, it's very difficult to get right into the apex of that dart. So using a tailor's ham, because this is curved, you can stretch it out and then you can get right into that point now that it's on a curved surface, and therefore your darts will look so much neater and sharper using one of these tailor's hams. Of course you can position it anywhere on the ham and it should finish your dart off really nicely. So moving on to the third So Easy product is the sleeve ham. So I've shown you how to do the sleeve on the prim ironing board. Let's try the other sleeve with the sleeve ham. So pop that inside, because of course if you try to iron flat like this, you might create some imprints on the other side, and you can't always get this flat, and you probably get some creases here. So using one of these, pop it in there, lie it flat, and then makes life a lot easier ironing your sleeve. Of course you can do trouser legs as well, anywhere where it's hard to press. There we go. So there's your 3 so easy pressing tools. All lovely matching red and black check. And of course with this one, if you're feeling a bit tired, you know, ideal. So moving on to our next product, I've got some elastic glides here. Now I've never heard of these before, but apparently it makes it easier to insert elastic into waistbands. I'm going to try this out. I have a pair of shorts here and I have a piece of elastic. So I'm going to see if following the instructions I can do this easily. They have different sizes for your different size elastic. So I'll probably use the green one. Reading the instructions here, I need to thread the elastic into the inner slot, which I guess is that one. Allow about 8 centimeters of elastic to pass through. That's about right. Thread the same end back through the outer slot. So through here. Pull the shorter end of the elastic firmly to create a secure grip. That's secure. And feed it into my shorts. It seems to be going through very easily. That's going all the way around. And there we go. Very easy to pull your elastic through that waistband. Just undo that there. So then all I would need to do is sew those 2 ends together, and that's my elasticated waistband all done nicely. My next product is the Hemline wrist pincushion. It fits all wrist sizes. That's good. Got elasticated bit on the back. It fits well. It's comfortable. Let me grab some pins. Pins go in nicely. It's got a foam interior, so the pins stay secure. So the foam interior helps to keep the pins clean and sharp. And it's quite secure. It's very secure. Look at that. It's not wobbling around. It's comfortable to wear. Ideal. So that's the Hemline wrist pincushion. So moving on to my next product, and it is a double cone thread holder from Hemline, which I've never heard of before. But I think this would be really useful because I sometimes use my larger thread like this. But of course it wobbles around on your machine. If you try and stick it on your spool holder on your machine, it will just fall around. So this would be really handy. So let me open it up and try to fit it together. There we go. Now it does have screw holes here, so if you want it more permanent on your work surface, you can screw it into your desk. So let me get my spools. So it can hold 2 spools. Let me grab another one. Let's have the red. There. So I'm going to take this over to my machine. So this will come up here. Thread that in my machine like that. Let's see if it falls over. Seems okay so far. Working well. And there we go. That seems to work perfectly. So that's the hemline double cone thread holder. I'll be getting one of these. So the next lot of tools I have an invisible zip foot, a bulky seam aid, and a magnetic seam guide. Now these seem all very useful. These are all produced by Hemline and are available on Minerva.com. So I'm going to start with the magnetic seam guide. Now this will ensure that you have perfectly straight seams and that you don't wander about on your sewing machine. There we are, that's what it looks like. So all you need to do is work out, say you have a 2 centimetre seam allowance. All you have to do is put that along your 2 centimetre mark here, or you can go on the other side here, and that will ensure that you have a very straight seam allowance as you guide the fabric through. So let me put it on this side. So let me get my fabric. So let's put that in there against the edge of here, and then guide that through. So that should ensure that you have a nice straight edge, and that's guaranteed to be 2 centimetres there and 2 centimetres there if I've used it correctly. And yeah, a very useful tool, and it has a smiley face on it. Smiley face. The next tool I have here for my sewing machine is a bulky seam aid. Again, it's by Hemline. Now if you're using bulky fabrics like a jean fabric or something thick like that, it's sometimes very difficult to get the material through the machine with your normal presser foot. So I'm going to use this one. I've never used one before. This is my thick seam here that I want to sew over. Now it's lying nice and flat here at the moment, so if I continue to sew, now as I come up to here, now as you can see the foot is slanting towards the back. So if I raise the foot and slip this under, it will now be level with the thicker seam. So if I continue slowly and then to there, and then remove it from the back and place it towards the front. I just hold it there, and then as you come to the flatter part, you can remove that and continue. So useful tool if you're going to be sewing over thick seams like that. So all available on Minerva.com. So now we'll move on to the invisible zip foot. So this is a really useful tool to have, obviously if you're putting in an invisible zip, but you want to get the stitching as close to the zip teeth as possible, and this should ensure that you can do that. So I've got a couple of pieces of fabric here, so pretend this is my my back seam of a skirt or something. So I've pinned the zip tape on the edge here on the seam allowance. So I'm going to attach the zip foot to my machine. Now this foot has 2 grooves on the underside of it, so you can glide that down the side of there to ensure the stitching is as close to the teeth as possible. I'm going to attach that to my machine. Hopefully it will fit. It is universal, and it should fit most modern sewing machines with a low shank presser foot. So what I want to do is open up the teeth. Sometimes it's good to press the teeth open on a very low heat with your iron. So as you go along, is pushing the teeth to one side, then sewing your stitch right up close to the teeth. If we look here, we can see it's quite close to the edge. So I'll do the other side. So let me pin the other piece in place. So now I come over to the machine again, and this time I'll put it in the other groove on the other side. It makes life a whole lot easier because you're not having to pull those teeth away from the edge, and it's getting that stitching right up close to the teeth. Okay, so hopefully I've sewn it correctly, because I never know what way around it goes. So let's see. Okay, that looks good. So do your zip up. It's a little bit stiff, but that's my fault. But you can see how close that is, and if I used a zip the same colour as my material, then that would be pretty invisible. So yep, another good tool, the invisible zip foot from Hemline, available on Minerva.com. I'm going to show you the bias tape maker, which I've had for a while but I've never used it. So we're going to make our own bias tape. So I have some material here. Now I'm also going to use this chalk cartridge set. So I'm going to see how that works as well. And then when we attach the bias binding onto another bit of material, we'll use some of these clips to attach them. So let me open up the cartridge set. Now this is from Prim, and of course available on Minerva.com. So in here you have these different coloured chalk that you go into put into the pen here. You have a pencil sharpener as well. So let me just get rid of my ironing mat for now. So for this bias tape maker, what do I need? Cut strips twice the width of the bias tape maker. So the bias tape maker is 1 inch 25 millimeters, so I need to make it twice that width. Now it's not going to be a very long bit of bias tape, but let's make it. Okay, we need to go 45 degrees along that line there. That's 45. So using my chalk pen, mark that. Oh, it marks quite nicely. I like that. You might not be able to see it, but there is a mark there. A mark here, 2 inches. Mark here, 2 inches, and join them up. So I cut that strip out. Of course, bias binding is cut out on the bias, hence the name. I never made my own bias binding, so this is the first. I normally buy it, but I guess if you're using a fabric on a garment and you want to match the fabric when you're binding it, this is how you make it. Okay, so there's my strip. It's not very long, so I now need to, what do I need to do? Trim one end to a point. I'm going to clip that one straight and clip that one to a point. That's pointy enough. With fabric right side uppermost and metal part of the tool uppermost, use a pin to help feed the fabric through. It's a very long pin. pin. Use a pin to guide that through. Ah! See, there's a gap on this side, so you can feed it through. There. Okay, that's that done. Working on an ironing board, pin the fabric end to the board and then pull the coloured handle away. Press the folds in the bias tape as it comes through the narrow end. Okay, so bring this back up. So I'm going to pin it to here, why not? Pin that to there, and then with your iron, as you pull this, iron it as it comes out. Ooh, this is fun. This is good. I like this. Let me unpin that and show you. So there you go. This is my bias tape. That's really good. I'm really happy with that. Obviously, it's not a very long bit of bias tape, but that's really good. I'm really impressed with this. Definitely going to use it now that I've learned how to use it. Now, say you want to attach it to your garment, maybe a neckline or something. I like it. Sorry. Right, so I have another bit of fabric here. I want to pin this. Well, I'm not going to pin it because I've got some clips. Wonder clips from Clover. So you get 10 in this pack. Let me open them up. Right. So I'm going to attach my binding. These clips are a great alternative to pins. A lot less fiddly. Okay, so that's all clipped. Right, I'm going to sew that in place. So pop that under there. Obviously, remove the clip out of the way. Okay. And then you want to fold that over there, clip that in place. These are really good actually. This is great for doing binding because it's quite fiddly with your pins sometimes. So these are great. These are a great alternative. And then just sew that in place. I'm just going to top stitch along here. So it should catch the underside here. So if I top stitch along here, then it should just catch that side. And there we have it. That would just need a little bit of a press. It's turned out really lovely, very easy tool to use. So grab yourself one of these. Beautiful bit of binding there. I'm really happy with that. I never thought it would come out as good as that. And that sits really flat, which is good, which is what you want for binding. Clips came in handy. And the chalk is a good alternative to your normal tailor's chalk. And you hold it like a pen, which is good. It's quite nice, very ergonomic. But I still haven't worked out how to change the colours. So that might take me a little bit of time to work that out. It doesn't actually say, but I'm sure if I look on the internet, it'll tell me. But no, I'm very happy with this, very happy with the clips, very happy with the binding. So the next tools I've got are finger guards which help you or stop you burning your fingers when you're ironing a hem, and a sewing gauge that is used to measure your hems. So let me press a little hem on this bit of fabric. This is from Hemline. You have an adjustable bit here. So say you want to do a 2 centimeter hem, you move that down to 2 centimeters, and then you can fold it from that point. So fold it here, 2 centimeters. Now also on the sewing gauge you have this point here, which is ideal for pointing out collars or cuffs. Anyway, you need to get that point out to a really sharp corner, which is also a very useful tool. So you can not only like measure hems, you can also do pleats. So say your pleat was 1 inch, we fold this over. Obviously you do this better than what I'm doing, but you can measure your pleat, that's 1 inch. So you can measure your pleats, you can measure your hems. So let me just do a hem. I'm going to press a hem. I'm going to press it up 1.5 centimeters. So adjust that to 1.5, and because I like to protect my fingers, I'm going to wear my silicone finger guards. Okay, if you've got fat fingers, these don't work. Let me okay. Okay, oop. Try not to break it. Okay, there we go. They're a bit weird to handle. I'm not sure if I can handle the fabric with these, but I'll give it a go. We want to turn this up 1.5 centimeters. So I'm going to press that. Oh, I burnt my finger. Oh no, I haven't. I don't think they give you full protection, but if you do accidentally go into your finger, at least you're not burning your finger. So that's quite good, because I'm always doing that. Keep going along, checking that's 1.5 centimeters. It's very awkward, I think, handling your fabric with these though, but you might get the hang of it. So now I'm going to fold that up again. I'm going to go up 2 centimeters, so I'm going to adjust that to 2 centimeters. That's about right. Oh, I should really the one finger that I haven't got a thing on, maybe I should move that one onto that finger, and that one onto that finger, and that one onto that finger. So it does give you a good precise measurement on your hem. See, I could quite easily burn my thumb there. So maybe buy 2 packs. So there we go. You have a lovely double hem at 2 centimeters. Lovely. So these are good. And this is a good little tool to have. So moving on, I've got some more little toys to play with. So these are some mini fixing weights. You get 4 in a packet. These are from Prim and available on Minerva.com. These are quite weighty, which is good, which is what you need. So let me get these out. They are quite heavy. God, I keep fit with these. Now I don't normally use these. I normally pin my pattern piece to my fabric, but this is another alternative. It does save a bit of time and protects your fabric, especially if you're using delicate fabrics. You don't want to be sticking pins in. So these weights are ideal. Hopefully the pattern won't move around. I'm going to try and cut this bit out with my rotary cutter, which I probably need a new blade. So the pattern's not moving around, which is good. I don't normally use pattern weights, like I said, but I don't know if I'm doing this right. So there we go. Pattern cut out. The pattern hasn't moved. It's got some good weights on there. A nice bright pink as well. And also you can get some exercise at the same time. Brilliant. So that's the pattern weights. Moving on, I've got another tool. A paper pattern notcher. I've never heard of one of these. But if you're into making your own patterns, then this might come in handy when putting notches into your pattern. So let me open this up and take a look. Push the paper into the cutter all the way to get a 7mm notch. Let me put one in here. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. There is a little notch there. And so before you cut out your fabric and you transfer your markings, you can mark your notches on your fabric through that gap so you can see where it is. So another little useful tool if you're into pattern making. I'm going to do a few more. Or you can pretend you're on the buses and clip the tickets. Anyway, nice little tool there if you're into pattern making. Now moving on to a French curve. Now I do have some of these and I do like making my own patterns. This is a French curve from So Easy with a grading rule. So it does have some very good instructions on the back showing you how to do a neck curve, how to change the sleeve cap as well. So you've got all these instructions on the outside there. So when you open this up, don't rip it to pieces because there are some very good instructions on the inside by the looks of it. And yeah, so very good instructions. So it's telling you how to add seam allowances, how to grade patterns, fashion ideas. So lots and lots of different things you can do with this French curve. Who would have thought it? I thought it was just this, but it helps even more that you have the instructions inside how to make those alterations. So it's really good, really good product. So that's from So Easy, available now on Minerva.com. And that's it. We came to the end of our little look about all these different sewing tools. My favourite is my bus ticket clipper. So I'm off to clip some tickets. Until next time, bye.